Good evening, folks. And tonight we're going to talk about the other half of Dublin Scioto versus Dublin Coffman series. This time in football. Now I've looked at their series and they seem to stop about like 7 years ago. I don't know if they'll pick up again or not. Now, according to this, they play it again in 2003. And I'll tell you how Dublin Coffman played against us back in the good old days when I was in school. We played them once when I was in high school, my senior year. That was the only time when I was around when we played them. We played them another time, beating them 28-27 in regulation. But we beat them in normal time in regulation 21-7 back when I was a senior in high school at our place. Boy, was that a game and a half. Those guys were monsters. That was when Brady Quinn, excuse me. I was thinking about Quinn Ewers. I don't know why. Shouldn't be thinking about him right now, honestly. And then Jack Rafferty the following year came in, a transfer out of St. Charles, and played at Dublin Coffman for only a year, and he ended up doing pretty good. He did a lot of passing, but Jack Rafferty ended up falling short against Lancaster by only a point, 28-27. Now we gotta look at Lancaster. Now we gotta look at the Dublin Coffman versus Dublin Scioto series. Now the first time the two ever met was in a tournament. Dublin Scioto beat Dublin Coffman 24-14 in 03, but that was later. But Dublin Scioto had to forfeit that game due to a ineligible player being played, and same with Lancaster. Lancaster also played Dublin Scioto that year, and we also lost that year, 17-12. But we never played Dublin Scioto when I was in school ever. We never played Dublin Scioto, and they lost, but they were also given a victory against Scioto because the ineligible player was around then too. So then we go down to these games. Dublin Coffman ended up falling to the following year in 04. Dublin Scioto beat Dublin Coffman 23-21. Then in the tournament, they ended up beating Dublin Coffman. They shut out Dublin Coffman 30-0. Oof. Then the following year in 05, Dublin Scioto ended up beating Dublin Coffman 24-17. Then in 06, Dublin Coffman shuts out Dublin Scioto for their first ever victory, 44-0. Legitimate victory. That when you actually score points to beat a team. And then in 07, Dublin Coffman beats Dublin Scioto 9-7. In 2012, Dublin Coffman beats Dublin Scioto 34-14. Then in 2013, Dublin Scioto repays the favor 30-17 over Dublin Coffman. And now for 4 years straight, Dublin Coffman wins it. First they win 35-7, and then in 15, 52-0. Then in 2016 they win 45-7. And then in 2017 they shut out Scioto 38-0. This is just shows you how good Scioto has a history with Coffman. It's a really stiff history. I've heard a lot of stories between Scioto and Coffman. It's almost like Michigan versus Michigan State, where people don't even buy from. Here's a little bit of story behind that up there. You can go up there and buy from that state up there. You can go from part of that state up there, from like East Lansing. People from East Lansing don't buy anything from Ann Arbor. And people from Ann Arbor don't buy anything from East Lansing. That's literally how stiff that is up there. While down here, we on the other hand are not like that. I mean, I myself am kind of like, okay, yeah, that's taken a little bit too far. I mean, yeah, it'd be no different than Ohio State taking on Ohio University. I mean, like, they're a MAC school for crying out loud, not a Big Ten school. If they were a Big Ten school, then I don't know. I mean, but they're a MAC school, so it's not like they'd be on the same level as us. So no different. So if you want to try to say that, but Scioto, they've had some pretty good teams in the past. Coffman, they've had some pretty good teams in the past. They've both kind of slacked off of that a little bit. They kind of fell apart. But heck, Scioto, I wouldn't look past Scioto one bit, honestly. Scioto's not a weak team by all means. And neither is Coffman. They put up a good fight. They never quit when you think they should quit. Anytime you thought they were going to quit, they don't quit. That's how good these teams are. I mean, when we beat Coffman at home my senior year, Brady Quinn was actually hurt. His older brother, Chris Quinn, we played against in basketball. I mean, he beat us my sophomore year. We split with him my sophomore year. We beat him there, and we beat him. We beat him home, and then we beat him on the road. Then we lost to him in the tournament. And then when he was a senior, we played against him again. And he was tough. I mean, I'll give him credit. Give credit where credit is deserved. I mean, Dublin Coffman was always a good team back in my days. We'll talk about Dublin. We'll talk more about that when the time comes. But with that part of Brady Quinn, we'll talk more about Brady Quinn here. But he hurt his leg. He broke his leg in that game. And the backup quarterback, I think that was Kyle Genstermall or something like that, I think. I can't remember his name. Kyle Genstermall. But we had him on the ropes the entire game, and we ended up upsetting them 21-7. Unfortunately, that was our last game. We went 7-3 the entire year. Despite being the 7th ranked team in the state, we still weren't allowed. We still couldn't go to the tournament. Such a disappointment. But it is what it is. We never did beat Pickerington we never did beat Pickerington. Also another disappointment in football when I was in high school. But it is what it is. You move on, you get better. But you have one of those years. Well, I got things I gotta take care of. And with that being said, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.